Shubor nakaslem jong unongsan Hima.
Ka Sorkar jela kala Ithuh palat hanyo po hajar tali ki Tyllong haka jela hakaba sanpusan hajar tali ladap budang bat gijing persyang ban Pynneh Pynsah yaki kadang ya Catchment hakba kidon kumbah news pak kanai puar tali ki Tyllong kiba gijing pej ban Pynneh Pynsah kadang ya kani re Ithuh de menteri rang ba ka jela ukan rat ki sangma haba jubab ka jingkali balawan ra do MLA ka VVP ka Mauring Kening uba Havingstone Kharpran ukan rat ulapan pa ba ka Sorkar kala Ithuh kumbah nyo po hajar tali ki Tyllong hakabasan pusan hajar tali ada Pruid bat ki kam ban pen thamai kidang ya Catchment mentah ulapan pau syuk bah ka jingwat benya alapan i bah news pak kanai puar tali na ki Tyllong bala budak kidan ha ka jingma ka bakraw ha ka ba ki Tyllong jongki kila terkhong kini ki wa duit ki kershan ki project ba pher hapo ka jal jivan mission kum ka jingpen kre ka tanat soil and water conservation kala penmi ya ka project ka balai puar kelur tingka ban pen thamai ya hendu punyo tali na ki jaka penmi hakarukom ke bakong santa. Menteri rang ba kejela ulapan pauru bahagi ni kisan senem baladap lashna hadu syajar handu spa iwei tali ki jaka penlang hapo ke Mahatma Gandhi National Employment Guarantee Scheme hagajing lot ke basau pendreu point handu puar kelur tingkah. Ula banjur bagajing penthamai bat jing sumari ki jaka penlang kadang ya Catchment dagajing start jong gajuk menta lala ban buat dien ni gajing he ka hakini ki Tyllong hadu khatlai hajar ngut kinong trei mon sangobha bala shahikai kidang trei shitom ban buat dien bat ajing tip ye gajing kala kebala ban yarap makapor nak benta ban penbahapan nalor kata UCM ulapan bena ye ka project ke bahan $2 million bala betingka da ke Asian Development Bank kebathmu ban pen thamai ki jaga penlang bat bante sanspa lai puar tali ki jingtai thamai ukon rat ula banjur ba ka Meghalaya ka Ropeway naki khandiap tali ki jela ki badan ye ka policy bat bapalat 1,000 kelur tingkah ki projek ki bede bat ka kidang penteri ka mentah haba jubab ya ka jingkali jong unong thoan ka VVP ka nongkram uba adan melbasai mot halor ka jingta jong ka projek Ropeway na Tyllong ki Tyllong menteri rang ba ula pentikna ba ka tanat klau ka tanat soil and water resource kila penlong ya jingpet benya kumno banthong ki paya khnang banom don ka nu ka jingta ki Tyllong la penlong ya jingpet benya ba pher ula penrap.
Mr. Speaker, sir. Reply to Star Question 1A. Sir, 1,601 spring sheds have been constructed in the last 5 years. Reply to Star Question 1B. Sir, a total amount of 46.62 crores has been sanctioned for the above program.
Supplementary question, please. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I should thank the Honorable Minister for the reply. So I have 5 more supplementary questions. May I know from the Honorable Chief Minister, who are the PIAs or the project implementing agencies of this project?
So these projects were implemented through the MG and REGA. So the different VECs are there which have implemented this project under the CNRD department.
So what are the activities being taken up under this project, sir?
Sir, under these projects, a large number of activities including plantation of trees, direct seed sowing, staggered contour trenches, percolation pits, percolation ponds, drainage of percolation pond, biofencing, restoration of natural vegetation, gabion check dams, gully plugs, loose boulder check dams, V-notches, deep recharge pits with fruit plant, deep recharge pits, roof rainwater recharge pits, subsurface check dam with source work, clean water reservoir, shallow pond and source work.
So, how many springs have been rejuvenated under this project, sir?
Sir, as I mentioned, 1,601 springs have been rejuvenated.
So is there any success story on the creation of such a springship program, sir?
Sir, as mentioned, this project under the MGNREGS, which we have taken up, 1,601 spring sheds have been rejuvenated at a cost of 46.62 crores. So this is an opportunity for me to also share with the House that in the state as a whole, we have approximately 70,000 springs in different parts, and that's the ones that we have identified till now. There could be much more. And out of the 70,000 plus springs that we have, 55,000 have actually been mapped through satellite or LIDAR or using drone technology. And monitoring of these different spring sheds are taking place as we speak. In fact, if any citizen also wishes to see the different spring sheds, they can always go online in the portal called meghalayacm-dashboard.in. So I'll repeat, meghalayacm-dashboard.in. And under this, sir, the different activities of the different spring sheds, what activities are taking place, how much water is there, what kind of pH level, so on and so forth, the information is there. So why I'm mentioning this to you, sir, is that the exercise for this is a very large exercise. And apart from what we're doing under the MGNREGA, we also have schemes that we are working through MBMA under the ADB, where we have different projects again that we have mapped and we are rejuvenating. So therefore, this process is ongoing, sir. The projects that we implemented under the MGNREGS, which I have mentioned in my reply of 1,601, these are all success stories in their, in itself. And a large number of spring sheds have been rejuvenated there itself. These are small projects. If you calculate the amount, comes up to an average of about 2 to 3 lakhs per location. But these small interventions have a huge impact in terms of the rejuvenation of the spring in itself, sir. So to answer in short the question of the honorable member, that all these projects, the 1,601, all of them are success stories in itself. I don't have the specific names of all the villages, but I have a breakup district-wise.
One last question, sir. Who is responsible for the management and maintenance of this project, sir?
Sir, these are, as I said, implemented by the MG and REGS. So basically the village employment council and the villagers at the village level, they are taking care as of now, sir. There's no specific responsibility that they have to do it, but we do have the village health, sanitation and water committees, which are also involved in day-to-day process of ensuring that they monitor things. So therefore, sir, the village as a whole, the community as a whole is acting towards it, since it is a community-owned project. The VECs are implementing. So in this particular project, sir, the VECs and the village people and the community themselves are monitoring and looking after these different assets that have been created.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Dr. Kazi, please.
From the Honorable Chief Minister, what are the measures that are in place to ensure sustainability of these constructed spring sheds?
Sir, as I mentioned, the process of ensuring that the spring sheds are rejuvenated and maintained is actually an ongoing process. And different interventions take place at different times through different schemes in order for us to be able to rejuvenate these springs. And multiple activities continue, and sometimes, as I said, we need to increase the vegetation out there. So the plantations that take place, they help, and the different kind of like biofencing that we do, that helps. At the same time, sir, interventions like the engineering interventions. So there are two kind of interventions, sir. One is the engineering intervention, and one is the vegetative intervention. So then they're subclassified under these two main categories. And therefore, sir, activities continue. So therefore, it's not that we just construct one dam and then the job is over and we expect that we'll maintain that dam forever. It's a continuous process, as I said, vegetative and ensuring plantations take place, and engineering, so that interventions like check dams, gabion walls and others are even put in. So all these kind of different provisions are there, and therefore depending on the particular spring, we have different activities and involvements. So just to share with the House again, that what I have replied right now to the House is the process that takes place under MG and NREGS, sir. Now, we also have a scheme, as I said, under the ADB, where there is a project for climate adaptation and community-based water harvesting project. Again, the concept being to rejuvenate springs, and close to about 532 structures in that also will be implemented. And this is almost a $62 million project, and therefore a large amount will be spent on this. And what is important, sir, and I think this is something that people should be aware about, is that while the interventions take place, today with the availability of technology, especially satellite-based technology and LIDAR-based technology, we are capable of monitoring the different levels in the water, springs, and of course we have large number of volunteers. We have almost 13,000 VCFs, the volunteers at the community level, who have been trained to monitor these aspects and inform us time to time, so that we are able to then take the necessary steps. So again, sir, to answer the question in short, there is no specific one measure that we say that we'll just do this to maintain. It's a consolidated effort from all sides. It's a continuous process of intervening at different levels, and depending on the situation that arises, based on the data and information that we receive through these volunteers, through the technology, and through the community, we are able to then take multiple interventions. So it's a effort that is requiring work from all levels and from all angles, and that is why there's no one right answer that this is the only way. You have to understand this is a very broad aspect, and spring rejuvenation is multi-layered, and different activities need to be taken place, and different stakeholders need to participate in it. But as I said, we have a system now in place where we are being able to continuously improve and monitor the life of the springs. So again, just to conclude this reply, there were close to, again, this is very important for the House to know, sir, that we had, after we did the study of these 55,000 springs out of the 70,000, and we'll be doing the rest of the 15,000 soon, because these are very, very interior locations, very difficult to reach. But out of the 55,000 springs that we had, after we did the study, we realized that 792 of them are actually in a very, very severe critical phase, sir. And these are the springs that provide water for the Jal Jeevan mission. And it is because of this study that we have done through the MBMA, and we have been able to use technology to map these particular springs, 55,000 of them. We realized that 792 were actually very, very critical and drying up. And based on this information, the Soil Conservation Department has now come up with a 32 crore project for 67 as of now, sir. So out of the 792, 67 of these springs are going to be rejuvenated in a very, very kind of war-footing manner. And we will ensure that we are able to bring back life to these springs, sir. So what I'm trying to express to you is that there is no one right answer to this. It's a very complicated process. It requires, as I said, multiple stakeholders to work together. But as I said, it's a continuous process, and the government is on the job to ensure that all of these issues are continuously resolved as and when they come up, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I just wanted to know from the House, how does this program align with the state's broader climate adaptation strategy?
So thank you for this question. In fact, I think it's a very, very, very valid question that honorable member from Rajabala has asked. Sir, the multiple departments that deal with water, whether it's PHE, whether it is soil conservation, water resources, forest and environment, and water-related departments like agriculture, like mining, like fisheries. So we realized in the last 3 years, in fact, because before that, we also were working departmentally, we realized that there are many projects going on in many of these departments who, at the end of the day, never end up talking to each other. And so you have the soil conservation department creating check dams and creating different kind of reservoirs, and not really addressing the issues of PHE, where the springs may be actually drying up and PHE is not able to supply. Only if they had spoken to each other and come on the same platform, maybe the efforts could have been converged. My point being, sir, that it is very critical for us as a government, as members and as a house, to look at the problem of water as a holistic problem. It cannot be looked at as only a departmental problem. And hence, we have a council called the Climate Council, and this Climate Council is headed by the Chief Minister, and all the water-related departments are members in it. And it is for the first time that the different departments are now talking to each other. So I'll just give an example, sir, that the same springs that I was mentioning to you, the 792 springs which PHE informed us were in critical condition, and there would be no water supply in the next 2 years from these springs, in spite of the fact that 4 years, 5 years back when they mapped it, there was enough water. But now after 5 years, because of the climate change and the change in the weather patterns and rain patterns, these 792 springs actually dried up, are in the process of completely drying up. And Soil Conservation Department, just last year, in fact, they informed us that they had just recently completed creation or rejuvenation of springs, close to about 1,000 of them. And when we tried to see whether these 792 were in there, we realized that only 15 were in there. Meaning, sir, that if there had been a holistic approach where PHE department and soil conservation had spoken to each other 5 years back, maybe we would have been able to utilize that money in a similar manner to be able to rejuvenate these springs. So, sir, to reply to the question of the honorable member, that this actually is a very critical part. For the first time, government of Meghalaya has, or is one of the few states in the country that has a water policy. Based on this water policy that we have created, there is a mandate for different departments to work together, to talk to each other. Based on that, a climate council has been created where we actually speak to each other and share the different problems that are there. And the money that is spent by different departments is ensured that it is done in a very, very optimal point of view, so that we don't duplicate work. So maybe at the same time, we may have two departments, creating spring sheds in the same location. So we may have PHE also saying, let's create a reservoir, and we might have soil conservation also creating the reservoir, just because they were not speaking to each other. So therefore, the question, as well as the suggestion given by the honorable member, is actually of great, great importance, because now, as I said, we are working on this, and we have now, multiple projects with PHE department, CNRD department, soil conservation department, water resource department, forest department. So if you were actually going to combine the resources of all of these, you would find that more than 4,000 crores, sir, I will not have the exact number with me, but I can safely tell you that more than 4,000 crores worth of projects today are water-related projects that are going on in the state. And because we did not have a combined, strategy for climate adaptation in the past, we were actually working in silos, and which was not having the kind of impact which it could have if we had only spoken to each other. But that has now been rectified. We are very closely working, and we are actually seeing results of this. And today, as I said, because of the mapping that has been done by the MBMA, the Soil Conservation Department and PHE Department, in a matter of seconds, can come to know where the critical springs are, and decisions can be made in the right manner, and money can be spent in a very, very effective manner. So to conclude this particular question, I also want to share with Honorable Member that recently we had gone to Upper Shillong to see the water supply. That was last year, about 8 months back. And so there was a critical problem in Shillong. We asked MBMA to map using LIDAR, satellite and drones to tell us where we could create check dams or small facilities or structures, that would allow the water level to go up. We realized that with a basic investment of only about 3 to 5 lakhs per structure, 90 structures need to be created. That means about a cost of anything between 3 to 4.5 crores, which would then increase the overall level of water in the entire Upper Shillong forest area by almost 1 billion cubic meters. So therefore, this kind of basic technology intervention has allowed us to really save money, invest only, as I said, 3 to 4 crores, and being able to really rejuvenate the springs in those areas. And that is how, as I said, the departments today are working. And this is a great example of how, not just in this area, but in multiple areas today we are working towards resolving the water issue, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Gavin. Sorry. Mr. Gavin first.
Yeah.
Mrs. Swin, I'm giving time to
Okay, sir.
Mr. Gavin first. Yeah, you can speak later. You can ask later on.
So may I know from the Honorable Chief Minister the source of funding of this particular program?
Sir, as mentioned earlier, this particular program for the 1,601 spring sheds amounting to 46.62 crores has been implemented through the CNRD department, which is the scheme under which this has been taken up is the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. So the MGNREGS funds, which are in the village level implemented through the VECs, they have been motivated to take up water-related projects, and this is how we have been able to fund this. So therefore, the state did not have to spend much in this. This is more from the central funds. And as you are aware, sir, in MGNREGS also, as a state, we have been able to really increase our overall spending. And a large amount, as a matter of policy also, we have taken up that at least about 30% to 35% of the work in MGNREGS should be water related. So it is in line with that strategy that the funds from MGNREGS was used to fund this particular project, sir.
Sir, whether the since it is a related subject for the climate, water and soil conservation, I want to ask one question, sir. Whether this village implement council has been equipped with the technology of measuring the discharge of water, cubic discharge of water, so that you may know comparatively, if you measure the cubic discharge of water every year, then we may know the success of the implementation of the scheme. And two, sir, also that through the flow of water, is whether this BEC has been equipped with the technology to measure the soil loss also, because flow of water is proportional to the is proportional to the flow of water. Because through at the point of flow, we can measure both the soil loss and the discharge of cubic second of water. So comparatively, if we measure the discharge of water consecutively for 2-3 years, we may know the success of the implementation program, sir.
Sir, again, a very valid question, and I thank the honorable member for asking the question. Sir, in most of the programs that we are now implementing as a state government, we are working towards involving the community as far as possible, because that is the greatest strength that our state has. And by ensuring that the village communities are involved in the different development and social activities and issues, we can ensure that it is sustainable and it can be addressed in a very, very efficient manner. So keeping that in mind, sir, we have ensured that we are working with the community in this. There are certain areas where we have given the, you can say, the capacity building to the villagers to be able to assess a lot of these aspects at their own level. Again, it's a continuous process. There are more than 7,000 plus VECs, 7,000 plus minus, VECs. And therefore, it's not possible for us to address and to train everybody in one go. But that training process is on, and we are trying our best to ensure that as much of the training and capacity building is given to them. At the same time, sir, not just depending on or leaving the entire responsibility, I should say, on the villagers and the VECs, we have developed a system of the village volunteers who are there, sir, who are selected and supported by the state government. So these volunteers are actually, sir, trained individuals. They have been given necessary training, large number of equipments on how to measure these aspects. The equipments may not be the same in all locations. So depending on the different clusters, different areas, different levels of training and equipments are given. But as I said, in order to give a backup to the VECs and to the communities who are being trained, capacity is being given, we also have village volunteers, as I said, who are trained and given training in different aspects today to help the villagers when it comes to issues of measuring the spring level, as well as measuring different aspects of the quality of the water, the different aspects of even measuring the overall, the soil impact, issues of the discharge from the springs. Is it same like before? Is it improving, decreasing? There are also the people who are managing the programs of the PES, which you all know, so is the Payment for Ecosystem Service. Again, another very important aspect. So it's a combined effort. Apart from these volunteers, apart from the VECs, so the departments are also intervening. So we have a large number of officials also continuously working at the grassroots level with the people, with the volunteers, to ensure that we are able to take this issue and address this issue in the right earnest. So therefore, some multiple levels of interventions are there in order to ensure that we're able to maintain the water levels and, as far as possible, the quality, and take necessary action.
Yes, please. Pardon.
I have two questions. Number one, sir, I want to know the names and location of those springs which are critical in nature, and also the names and location of these springs which have been rejuvenated by the government. So I know the answer may be lengthy, so may I request the Honorable Chief Minister to please lay the answer on the table of the House.
Sir, I can do that, and as well as I said, maybe I can also suggest that there is an online dashboard. I will lay it on the House, but as I said, there's a dashboard, sir, which is called meghalayacmdashboard.in, and in the dashboard section, all these springs which have been rejuvenated and all the different monitoring that's taking place, Most of the information is in that particular website, and it's open to public. Anybody can take a look at it. It's not just for the officials and the members. Anybody can take a look at it. So this website will be helpful, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Another question, sir. Since we are discussing about the spring, how to protect the spring, so may I know from the Honorable Chief Minister whether the ropeway facility from the foothills of Lom Shillong will not be affected, will not affect these springs, various springs through that hill, sir?
Yes, sir. It's a valid question. Sir, there are two aspects to the entire process. Of course, this is not related directly because it's, I need more details for it. It's not very directly related, but I think it's important for me to address the issue. Sir, number one, a detailed mapping of the different locations where these pillars will be installed. This mapping, sir, has been done in coordination with the Forest Department, with the Soil Conservation Department, and with the international agencies which are working with us to ensure that we are not affecting the water sources and the forest areas, and the water, especially the water sources, are protected. So there's a detailed assessment that is done and a detailed study that is done, and it is done at multiple levels. That is why, sir, this project has taken a very long time to actually start the work, because the alignments were looked into multiple times before we could go forward. That's one, sir. Number two, in the line again for the ropeway project, that we had a slight issue, and I would like to clarify this here in the House itself, where the Forest Department had to give some clearances to actually chop the trees off, sir. And therefore, the Forest Department was of the opinion that we can allow the trimming of the trees to be done, so that we don't have to cut the trees anymore, sir. So now we are under the process of actually working towards creating what they call, sir, the fire line, sir. As you're aware that even now, sir, we are seeing large number of forest fires because of the dry conditions that are there and the high winds. We are seeing a lot of forest fires, sir. So there's a mechanism in the Forest Department where they leave certain meter of space in between, two trees or the forest line, you can say. That will then ensure that the fire does not spread to different parts, sir. So the process is on to see that the alignment of this is along the line of the ropeway line, so that two purposes can be served. One, that is as the forest, we don't need to cut too many trees, and number two, that the forest line also will be right under the cable. Forest line means the protection line, sir. Is there under the cable, so that, as I said, two purposes are served, sir. So all these thought processes and assessments have gone in. As I said, this is a very technical aspect, and since there are large organizations involved, international organizations who are funding this particular project are involved, so therefore we need to see all the criteria that are there before we move forward, sir. So therefore, to address the issue of the concerned member, yes, sir, these issues have been looked into.
Sir.
Two questions.
Yeah, another related to that reply, sir. Why I'm raising this question, sir, because I feel that if the government is allowing non-forest activities in the forest area like Lom Shillong, Lom Maupat, and many forest areas, which we feel that we need to make these forests a catchment area. So then that itself will defeat the purpose of the government to protect the springs. So it would have been better for the government to avoid encouraging non-forest activities in all these forest areas, sir. This is a serious concern, sir. I think no matter what we do, because if we want to address those dry leaves, I think the department can allow people, the farmers, to collect those dry leaves. Don't stop them from collecting those dry leaves. They will use for fertilizer, as a fertilizer, to cultivate their crops. That is another solution, because most of the people in my area are preventing to go and collect those dry leaves, converting them into fertilizer, sir. So that is not an issue, sir. So what I feel is that we need to avoid encouraging non-forest activities in the forest areas if we are really concerned to protect the springs.
So as I mentioned, that we have taken that aspect into consideration, and a detailed study of different aspects of the impact on the springs and the water sources have been taken into account, and ensuring that there is no impact on the water sources, we have gone ahead with this project. This project again is, sir, we have always maintained as a government that for us, we have to look at both aspects of economic growth as well as ecological balance and safety, sir. So maintaining that, after doing very detailed scientific study, we've ensured that this particular project will not have any impact on the water sources.
We move on to the next question.
Sir, one supplementary, sir.
This question has taken quite a long time. I
No,
agree
but,
this is a very important issue.
Yeah, but
Okay, I'll give you one.
situation arise. We can do anything, sir. So I would like to put one supplementary in the course
Just
of
one supplementary, please.
because I'm waiting patiently for my question, but I don't think so will come. So anyway, I would like to, in the course of Honorable Chief Minister reply, make his reply, CM tells this house, they're all 50 house, then all 50,000 water spring in the state and 4,000 crores rupees worth of project are related to water conservation. Question is then, who do public? Why do public still need to purchase drinking water?
Sir, a valid question. I think it's important that we address this. Of course, it's beyond the scope of this particular question, but I think keeping in mind the importance of the question, we have to address it, sir. So just to give an idea to the House and also to the population at large, the citizens of our state. So we receive almost 63 billion cubic square of water, of rain every year, 63 billion. And out of the 63 billion square cubic meters of water that we received, we lose, or I should say the water, because we are in hills, sir, so the water flows down, sir. So about close to 30 billion flows down towards Bangladesh, 30 billion flows down, plus minus flows down towards Assam. So my point being that there's never shortage of water. So issue of supply and shortage of water is not the real concern, sir. There are 2-3 concerns that we have. So number one is the overall, you can say, the storage of the water and slowing the flow of the water and overall managing the water and the source is one issue that we face, sir. The second issue that we face, sir, is the actual aspect of distribution that we have. And therefore, if you look at these two problems in one go, it's a very large scale problem, sir. And hence, for us to be resolving this in a matter of, year, 2 years, or just 5 years, is not practically, sir, possible. Though it is desirable, sir, and a lot of work has gone into it, but it's not possible for us to now look at the rain that we receive, the amount of money that is being spent towards water-related side. I didn't say water conservation, but water-related activities and projects. And I explain that, sir, because I think it's important to explain. So water-related activities and the actual water being supplied through the pipe to the last person and to the individuals at their homes in our state, in rural areas or in urban areas. So we have to look at these problems in its own level, sir. So we cannot just simply look at, we get 63 billion cubic meters of water and say that then why isn't it enough for our the households? Or we can look at the 4,000 crores of water-related projects that we're doing and saying still there are individuals that don't receive water, sir. So this has to be seen in the overall larger context of things, sir. And as I said, in the small, I guess, question that we had, I have been trying to address and trying to address and hint at some of the issues. So just to give an example to the honorable member, so when we started off in the beginning, so we at about 2018, which is the MDA government, so we had about 4,000 plus minus pipe connections in our state. And through the Jal Jeevan mission, we have been able to touch almost 5,80,000 now, sir. Now, if we didn't have these pipe connections, sir, we would not be able to give the water at the grassroots level. Now, even after implementing these projects, I agree, sir, there are certain projects where because of the source or because of the size of the population, which was not in line with the 2011 census, and hence more houses are there compared to what the census had. For critical, and problems like these, we are not able to, at the end of this day, see 100% of the impact of Jal Jeevan. But if you look at the larger impact, sir, Jal Jeevan has had a massive impact. So what I'm trying to tell you, through you, sir, to the House and to the honorable member, is that there is no one solution to this. It's a very big problem. One cannot just simply, as I said, say that there is 63 billion cubic meters of water, and so therefore everybody should get water in the houses. They should get, sir. I'm absolutely agreeable. But the process of going through that is huge.
Mr. Speaker,
there are a lot of problems.
Mr. Speaker,
Sir, I'm still replying, sir.
Wait,
I think
Mr.
honorable
Speaker,
member,
sir, a point of order on the Rule 300. In relation to Rule 37 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business and Sub-Rule 22, I would like to read. This is for the benefit of this August House. We would like to have exhaustive discussion on every important issue. But question hour, it has to be governed by the rules as enshrined in the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business. Because in the best interest of the state, every question has been tabled in the August House. Any matter that has been tabled before the August House becomes the property of this August House and must be discussed and deliberated to the extent possible. Now, if we refer to this rule, because lest it becomes
so
a
which
precedence.
which rule is this, sir?
Rule 37, Sub-Rule 22. So the rule says, in reference to the question as to how it should be regulated, it shall not raise question of policy too large to be dealt within the limits of an answer to question. I appreciate that the Chief Minister is willing to reply exhaustively, but the scope of the matter that is allowed in the rules has to be also regulated, Mr. Speaker, sir, so that we can also take up other important questions which have been already admitted. Therefore, members may be tempted to ask questions which revolves around policy matter, but I don't think in question and answer the rule allows it. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, we have been observing this is becoming a precedence. Therefore, I think we should go by the rules. Let us be governed by the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
So, you may complete your answer,
yes,
then we'll move on.
So I just want to also share, sir, that whether the question of is on policy matter, too large to be dealt with within the time limits, sir, is for the honorable speaker to decide. So, of course, suggestion is given, sir, but of course, at the end of the day, sir, it will be your decision that will be final. So therefore, as I was mentioning, sir, the concerns of the member.
Complete the reply.
Yes, sir. So as I said, sir, so there is no one short reply, sir. That's my problem, sir, with this. It's a large problem. The issue that is raised by the honorable member is there, and there's a lot of people who are suffering. I have to give a comparative analysis of where we were and where we are, and what leads to all of these problems. So it cannot be given in one line, sir. The question he asked was too broad, and I have to give the perspective of the reason and the issues which lead to that particular problem. And one cannot just look at that problem and say, well, why is this still happening? So it's a very large thing. So maybe as LOS mentioned, if the honorable member feels, we can bring up a discussion on this, sir, as per the rules that are there. But as I said, there is no short answer to this, sir. So there are too many aspects to it. So I have to reply to the 4,000 crores which you had mentioned, so that again the people don't get the wrong impression. So if you look at the different water-related issues, now whether I'm talking about the simple project that we have today, I just mentioned in my reply, the the Climate Adaptative Community-Based Water Harvesting Project funded by ADB, sir. So it's a $62 million project. That's about 516 crores. Again, out of this 516 crores, close to about 400 plus minus is grant coming in from Government of India. So like this, there are more than 5-6 different externally aided projects that are going on. And all of these projects are water-related projects. But they are not specifically only reservoir creation. These projects could be the tree plantation that takes place. I mean, any steps to ensure that we are able to conserve water, we are able to protect the forest, or any activity related to it, is there. So we have got a lot of funds in other departments that are being spent. So MGNRG's fund is there. Almost 30% of that is being spent in water-related activities. So therefore, sir, point being that it is not directly related to the spending, to the water that is going directly to the, to the individual consumers. Sir. So with these clarifications, sir, I once again thank the honourable member for raising this issue.
Yeah. In fact, sir, I have another two, but only one question.
No, please. Take it, Mr. I have noted
last one,
the honourable member's concern and the point of order.
Is there any catchment areas or spring which are no longer functioning in the state?
Sir, I would not have the exact answer with me right now, but I can inform the House that out of the 55,000 that we have mapped through technology, we have realized that there are 792 which are very critical in nature, which I have mentioned, and some of them, sir, could be beyond even rejuvenation and beyond bringing back to life, sir. So there are some of them that could be there, but I would not have the exact report with me right now, but I can tell you that 792 of them are in very, very critical condition, and we are working towards rejuvenating these 762 first, and of course working on the others also.